Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
All right, welcome back as we now are joined by the E.D. White coaches. They did very well. We're going to talk about that and we're going to introduce them in a second. But I just want a little programming note that I want to let all the athletes know that if you're watching this segment and you're not seeing yourself on these couple of segments, look throughout Facebook and YouTube and on HTV. We're taping so many segments on track and field because so many people qualified and went, and a lot of people won. They placed. So be looking, search, and you'll find your event. I want to welcome Coach Don Grabert. He's been at E.D. White as long as we've been on the air, it seems, and Jordan Reed, who was one of your prize athletes over there, he's been at E.D. White for 8 years. And, you know, I'm looking at it, and I just did a segment on Vanderbilt, but y'all are always in the hunt. The boys got second in the state at E.D. White. The girls got third. There's so much work that goes into getting there. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, again, you have to have really good athletes, and we've been blessed with a lot of good distance runners. This year we had some sprinters, but also good coaches. Coach Reed, Coach Emily Weimer, Coach Lane Robichaud, Coach Roger Beamer, and Coach Charlotte Smith, who's Dean of Students. She's also our field coach. But again, it takes the whole bunch of us to be able to put everybody to where they belong. But I attribute a lot of stuff to the assistant coaches. So
yeah, let's do this because I have a list here, and you got to be impressed with Chris Gravois, and if not for a little stumble at the block on the 100, he might have been a 2 sprint race champion, but he finished at 10.70 in the 100 meter, and he finished at 21.27 in the boys 200, and he was just smoking the track.
Chris is an awesome runner. I mean, he really came into his own this year. At the Vanderbilt meet, it was him and a guy from Warren Easton. I think they ran a 10.31, 10.3. So it was really fast. But Chris is really, like I said, come into his own. But like you said, in the state meet, he basically stumbled in the 100. He should have beat him. But that happens all the time. But in the 200, he came out and he was possessed, literally, and he ran a great race.
Well, when I saw him come out the blocks in that 200, I said, he's got a point to prove. And I was thinking back to our days when Alvin Douglas ran.
I remember Alvin, yes.
For Central Lafourche. And I remember that time, and Chris is right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yes.
And, and I want to talk about some of the first place finishes in the boys 800, in the boys 1600. Owen Tozan, he owned the track.
Owen's an awesome runner. I mean, he's just a junior, but again, he's a good athlete. Literally, he was on a mission. I'm going to let Coach Reed say a little bit more about him because he's the one who coaches the distance runners, so he knows a little bit more.
To both Owen and Chris's testament, but starting with Owen, it was a lot to ask of him this year to triple in those events. In most years, the most I think to ask of an underclassman is maybe try the mile and the 2 mile, but knowing we had a sprinter like Chris, knowing we had some of those relay parts, a triple jumper like Ben Rodrigue, we knew we had to go for it. We had to give our best shot to try to finish first in the state, and we told Owen, we need more than just 20 points. So whatever you can help us to get, that's what we need from you. And, he didn't balk at that. He took on the challenge. His preparation was very important to him, and he took it one race at a time and then went back to the tent and recovered. And he was on a mission from event to event.
Boy, and he got second in the 3200, so 2 first and a second, unless I'm missing something because I was up there watching, but he gave you some points, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and he was named the track athlete of the meet for AAA.
I did hear that. That's incredible. Let's look at some of the other, want to make sure we get at least the first place finishes. Your girls 4x800 meter relay, you had Julia Robichaud, Riley Methvin, did I say that correct?
Correct.
Okay, Elizabeth Rodrigue and Caroline Dietz, they finished with 10:04.69, so they got a first place.
Yeah, last year we won it in the 4x8 and we run it again, and basically some of the same girls. But that's a pretty good event for us. We have some pretty good half milers on that team, and when you put them together, if you have enough of them, you can win that event. And we had a really good team this year.
You know, even back in our days, we're going back a long time, that 440 and that 880 is
They're brutal.
it's devilish.
Grueling,
I mean,
for sure.
we always said a bear would catch you coming around the curve. And how have y'all progressed that? It just seemed like they're just doing what they do every day.
You know, to some expect, we get a lot of that strength and endurance. It's cross-country guys and girls that come out into the track. And, you know, for a long time, before the 4x8 became a state event just a few years ago, if you weren't one of our top in the mile or 2 mile, you kind of got pushed to the side as a distance runner. So it gave them a new event to be motivated to go and attack. And then speaking for Julia Robichaux, she was a quick girl who was in the 400 that we realized could push herself for that second lap. And so that's kind of what it became, a mode of necessity to get some of our distance runners more action, and then allowed some of our 400 girls to do the same.
All right, what we're going to do, we're going to take our first break here, and we are going to come back and talk more with Edie White, get a little bit into the mindset. We're going to mention some of the other teams that got points. And once again, the boys at Edie White, I should say young men. Boys just doesn't sound right. They placed second in the state, and the young ladies placed third in the state at Edie White. Once again, we're joined by Coach Don Grabert and Coach Jordan Reed, and just a great year for Edie White. And we'll be right back. Don't go away.